What's happening, Trials Riders? Cannibal Shogun here again, bringing you another Trials HD map making tutorial. For this tutorial, we're going to be talking about the free rotation hinge. So the free rotation hinge is basically a hinge that you can use to make things rotate. Probably the most obvious use would be to make wheels that turn, but there's also a lot of other good uses for it. So we'll go ahead and bring one out here. For the purposes of this tutorial, we are going to build a cart. So we are going to build this cart out of car tires, and we're gonna just use the wood ramp, the large wood ramp here as our base. So in general, I find it's always a good idea to use the left bumper button when you want to rotate. But when working with the free rotation hinge, it becomes more important, especially when you're trying to make wheels that turn, because if your hinge and your wheel are not lined up well, you'll end up with wobbly wheels, which, depending on what you're trying to make, a wobbly wheel could really screw up your level design. So you'll notice here, I don't know how well it's going to show up on YouTube. Here, I'll turn this sideways because you'll be able to see it a little bit better, I think. But on the hinge, all hinges, by the way, are made up of two pieces. You'll see here on the free rotation hinge that we've got two squares, basically, that are kind of sandwiched together. And then on the outside of this square, we have a circle here with an arrow on it that represents rotation, and then we've got a nice dot here right in the center, and both of these things come in really handy when you're trying to line up wheels. So I'm going to use my left bumper here to get that in the position we want it. I'm going to line it up with the edge of this board, and now I'm going to take my wheel and line my wheel up with it. So as I go to line up the wheel here, I'm actually going to go and push it all the way through there so that I can get in close here, as close as it'll let me at least, and use that circle and the little dot in the center to make sure that my wheel is as centered as I can get it on that hinge. And then I'm going to slowly pull it out here with my left stick, being careful to only push down so that it only comes towards me and not left to right. And so once I'm pretty confident that I got it in a good position, I'm going to go ahead and place it. Now we've got a cart here, so we're going to need 3 more of these. So I'm going to grab my hinge here, then use my left bumper to grab my tire as well. And then I'm going to hit Y and copy them and move those over to the right. And then once I've got them in good position, I'm going to reselect these two things again with the left bumper. I'm going to hit Y again to copy them. Hit right bumper to get me on my green axis here. Left bumper twice to flip them around. And then line that hinge up with the side of the board. So now I've got 4 wheels, 4 hinges, and a base for some sort of vehicle here. Now at the moment I got physics enabled on nothing's glued together. If I test physics, my hinges are going to just disappear into the ground because they're not attached to anything. So we'll start attaching by attaching the base to all of the hinges. We'll also go ahead and turn physics on that since we're going to need it. And often when you're using carts, especially if it's a cart that somebody's going to be trying to ride, that lock to driving line on your main piece is going to help you out, because it's going to keep your cart on the driving line and therefore make it possible for the rider to stay on the cart. And then finally we need to glue this base to each of these hinges. Now here's where the two sides of the hinge come to play. To make this wheel turn, we need the base connected to one side and the wheel connected to the other side. Obviously in this case it's pretty easy to tell we want the side that's closest to the base connected to the base, and then we want it on all 4 of those. Sometimes you need to use that left stick L3 button to move to another angle here so that you can actually see the side of the hinge that you're trying to get at. So now you could see each hinge kind of lit up a little bit. I don't know how well that comes in on YouTube, but I've got this base now connected to the inside of all 4 of those hinges. I'm going to hit B to confirm, and now that base and those hinges are all connected. I select or hit back to test my physics, and it's going to fall to the ground there, and the hinges are going to stay connected to it. So now I basically need to do the same thing with each wheel. Turn physics on and connect it to its side of the hinge. So we'll go turn physics on there. Now you don't want to lock your wheels to the driving line, because they will try and suck into the driving line and then they'll have trouble turning. So we're going to glue this to the outside of this hinge, and you'll see the board and the hinge light up now because they are connected. So we'll connect that, and now everything really lights up because it's all connected. Hit B to confirm, and we'll repeat that 3 times. And there we go. Now we should have a functioning cart. So let's go ahead and put a tilted surface here, and make sure we've got rotation in our wheels. There it goes, off and away. So I'll just save this right quick, and I'll bring up a few free rotation examples in other maps that I've made. So one I get asked about frequently is this cart at the beginning of the Sky Trilogy. All 3 maps have this cart at the beginning. And this is made using the free rotation hinge. I have 2 of them on here just for good measure. So basically what we have here is my base is made out of two small metal ramp pieces. I got 2 boards on the end here. These boards, I believe by the hard version, are completely gone, or at least pushed all the way down, but here on the easy version they're up a little bit so that they help you stay on the cart as it goes down. As you can see here by the glowing orange, everything here is enabled with physics except for my wheel, and everything is glued together. So basically what we've got here is everything at the bottom is glued to these 4 metal bars, and then on each side the 2 metal bars are connected to the outside of the free rotation hinge, and then on this side the same thing. And then this wheel is connected to the inside of both free rotation hinges. This trigger here is connected to this wheel, as I already mentioned. Physics are turned off for. So that's what's holding the whole thing in place right now, is this wheel. So when you come through and you hit this trigger, physics come on this wheel, and away the cart goes. And there you go. So there you have it. That is the free rotation hinge. Basically, go forth and have fun. Remember, use it for more than just wheels. Anything you want to rotate, it's going to be your man. Make some good maps.